Buckle up, folks. This podcast is all about diving into the good, the bad, and the ugly of our bodily, spiritual, and mental experiences. If you are not prepared to challenge your assumptions, laugh at yourself, laugh at me, or maybe even shed a tear or two, then you might want to look elsewhere. But if you're ready to get real, get honest, and get a little weird, then welcome to the Just Chrissy podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy McCammon. Hello, welcome back. This is Chrissy on the Just Chrissy podcast, owner of Rooted in Wellness, and we are on day 4 of our health reset. And today's subject is going to be one that I suspect a lot of you think you're doing okay, or you're like, yeah, maybe a little, maybe I need to work on that a little, but I'm willing to bet that the majority of you have more of this in your life than what you suspect. And that is stress. So when you're stressed, and I think what happens is like when I first started learning, I didn't realize what exactly when they said stressed. I thought, oh, well, it's just, maybe my marriage, my job, but it can be a lot of things. It can be the death of a loved one. And what happens is usually someone has a lot of stress in their life, and then something big happens and their rain barrel, their body is already full. I think I talked about this, how, over time your body gets full and then there comes a point when it overflows and you start to get symptoms. Something significant, very stressful will happen in someone's life, and then it kind of pushes them over the edge and they become really sick and start getting a lot of symptoms. So you could have the death of a loved one. You could have infection. It could be acute or chronic. You could have repeated stresses. You could have emotional stress. Allergies are stress. Overexertion is stress. Smoking, lack of sleep, poor eating habits, eating a lot of sugar and white flour, healing a wound, taking drugs and medication, too little or too much exercise. You may have nutritional deficiencies. Maybe it's marital. Too much caffeine, maybe you have trauma, fear, maybe you hate your job, maybe you have some psychological stress, maybe you don't relax, maybe you have negative attitudes and belief systems, maybe you have financial pressure, or maybe you're exposed to a lot of toxins. All of those are stress. This is such a big subject. I cannot emphasize enough how much you need to reduce stress, and you need to be looking at all these areas and what can you control. That's what I ask my clients. What can you control? It's one of those things that we kind of brush under the rug. We know it's important, but if we give any real thought to it, how it may be affecting our overall health, our body, our longevity, it can be scary. Like we can literally scare ourselves. If stress is the attributed underlying root cause or causal factor in the expression of almost every known dis-ease or imbalance in the body. That includes autoimmune, weight-based issues, since the delicate balance of hormones plays a crucial role in maintaining equilibrium within the body. It literally is like a seesaw system inside your body. And remember, keep in mind, your body is always fighting to survive. It's always fighting what we're doing to it, figuring out how to best handle the things that we are doing to it to survive. When that rain barrel, or when your body overflows, when stress reaches its upper limit in your mind and your body, you are going to have symptoms. When that threshold's met, the symptoms begin to appear. And it's interesting because I worked a very stressful job, was going through some very stressful personal issues. And when I realized that I was extremely stressed, I quit that job and reduced other things. And I thought I was doing really, really well. And then there's a test you can do. It's a hair tissue mineral test, which I'm happy to do that for you. But I thought I was doing really well, and I took this test, and it's like, oh no, because one of the signs of high stress in your body is that you do not have magnesium and calcium. Like you're completely plummeted in magnesium and calcium. And by the way, that is also a high blood pressure sign. They're connected. Symptoms are our gauge for whether someone is getting well or not. So what ended up happening with me is that I did that testing and I realized, oh, I'm still very, very stressed, and thought that I was doing well because I had gotten rid of a couple of things in my life that were causing stress, but it was not enough. I will tell you now, after this journey of healing, that when a situation arises that I will feel the stress enter my body, because now I am healed enough to know that, we get to the point, like when we sweep it under the rug, like we don't even recognize it. We don't even recognize when it enters our body. Now I recognize it, and then I am quick to be like, no, sorry, no can do. Not going to invite that in, not doing that. That is stressful. And most of us only think of stress from an emotion-based standpoint. We correlate like our work, family, and relationships with the level of stress we feel. But like I was talking about your digestive issues, like you can have digestive stress. One of the major stressors is your digestive system or your gut. And your gut refers to your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, which is your colon, your gut bacteria, which is your microbiome, and your overall digestion. So if you have any type of candida, bacteria, parasite, malabsorption issues in your gut, it's going to add to your total stress load. When your gut is inflamed from any of the reasons mentioned above, or you're eating foods that you're sensitive to, it can cause an immune reaction. This means your defense system begins to attack the food particles inside your intestines, causing inflammation and potential damage to your intestinal lining, especially in cases of celiac disease. Plus, this inflammation in the gut sends signals through your vagus nerve to your brain that something is wrong down there. And your brain then sends you back signals that are interpreted as, are you ready? These are gut signals going back to your brain. Increased anxiety, nervousness, depression, fatigue, brain fog, or some other byproduct of a deeper underlying imbalance. The entire body is connected. God is so smart. The more I study, the more I realize how much I don't know. The entire body is connected. And that's why it's frustrating when you go to the doctor and they're like, well, let's just talk about the pain that you're having in your pinky. But if you want to talk about anything else that's going on in your body, you're going to need to make another appointment because I only have 10 or 15 minutes. When you come visit me as your practitioner, your wellness practitioner, we're going to spend 90 minutes. You're going to do an intake that's going to help me have a good view of what you're dealing with. And then we're going to spend a good 90 minutes talking about how they're all connected and how we need to address it from all angles, not just one. Another issue people get is the leaky gut, because once the body starts responding to the food particles or attacking the food particles, you end up with this leaky gut. And then you can also, another stressor on the body can be virus and chronic health conditions. And there's tons of them. Like, I do not have enough time to list them all. Tons of them. But so we know that a few of the stressors like work, life, family, gut health, viruses, chronic conditions, and then that whole list that I talked about earlier is stress. So there are two symptoms. You have like this central nervous or autonomic nervous system, and it has got two branches. It's got a sympathetic nervous system and then the parasympathetic nervous system, or the SNS. The SNS is referred to as fight or flight. This is like a bear is coming to attack you. And all of a sudden you get this adrenaline, this rush of chemicals in your body that give you, it's like this fuel that gives you the ability to run. That is fight or flight. When you're stressed, it gets turned on. The sympathetic nervous system gets turned on, and the parasympathetic, which is the calm, it gets turned off, or it quiets down. This allows your body to focus on the stress. And while this is a good thing, and it is very protective in the short term, over the long term, you can have extreme repercussions from it. The reason for all symptoms of the sympathetic nervous dominance is that the humans are we're only meant to dip in and out of that system as needed. It's not supposed to be ongoing. It's not supposed to be continuous. It's supposed to be like when we need to get away from danger, or when we're around someone that just gives you that feeling like I need to move away from them. But the problem is, in our culture, in our society today, we currently live in 24/7 go, 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 that has us running from one stressful event to another. We literally never slow down unless we're sleeping in bed. And even then, too many of us still struggle to fall asleep or get a good night's sleep or get a solid 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep every night, which we're going to talk about that in a later podcast. So if this sounds like you, then you're missing the key to rejuvenating your body. Not getting sleep. In order for you to enjoy the opposite of any of the symptoms, you've got to get your body to move into the parasympathetic and out of that fight and flight stress response. So what happens when you're in that fight and flight, and I said about how the bear is chasing you and all of a sudden you get this like huge amount of adrenaline, that is glucose. And so your body has this chemical called cortisol, and that demands energy and demands glucose, and it will pull that from your body as needed. However, when we're in that cortisol demand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we actually start a process where it creates an imbalance in our hormones, because it takes what those other hormones need, because remember, your body's always trying to protect you, help you survive. Well, you're going to end up having to steal from other places in your body so that you have enough energy to survive, because your body knows you need to survive. And if it doesn't give that to you, that's more important than your testosterone. That's more important than your pregnenolone. That's more important than your progesterone. So it'll take it and put it into the cortisol. So we have to know, we have to learn how to decrease stress in our life. So here's some like realistic ways you can do it. You need 3 times a day at least, where you're intentionally doing these things, because when you intentionally do these, you will reset. People do not reset. You need to reset. Oh, I cannot believe we're 13 minutes in already. One of them is exercise. Just walking, not PX90, just walking. Get some walking in. 10 to 20 minutes of exercise will help you distress. Doing martial arts if you are really dealing with frustrations, to get those frustrations out. Scream therapy works really, really well. If you have a hard time expressing yourself and you bottle things in, don't bottle it in. Let it out with some, like, go somewhere and just scream. Laughing, spending time with your friends, watching a comedy, something that just makes you calm down. Breathing is very, very effective. You might be in the office and not be able to get away to do some of these things. Just do 4 seconds in, hold 4 seconds, 4 seconds out for a couple of minutes. That will reset you from the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system. If you like to dance, throw on your favorite tunes and dance. Go get a gentle to medium massage. Do stretching. Find some stretching videos on YouTube and do that. Some people like to go do the float therapy. Whatever it is for you. I like to read my Bible. I like to sit and have a cup of coffee. I might enjoy a DIY television show. I do get to spend a lot of time with my friends in Bible study, which is very relaxing for me. So there are a lot of things. What is it for you? Maybe sitting and having a cup of tea. I don't know. But you need to do that 3 times a day. Morning, noon, evening. To reset from the sympathetic fight and flight into the parasympathetic, relaxed and de-stressed. And eventually you'll get to the point where you're going to recognize when something stressful is coming in. No is a complete sentence. Say no. Look at your relationships. Which ones are stressing you out? Start creating some boundaries or spending less time with those people. What can you control? That's what you can do immediately, is look at what can I control and start working towards that, using that, lowering that. And the other thing is, don't eat when you're stressed, because your digestive system is shut down when you're stressed. 15 minutes is up already. Okay, guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go apply. Go apply this information to your life. It's free. You can do it. You can do it.